Hey guys, salut mes amis och hallå gubbar. Today, Valve released a very heartwarming update that pretty much responds to the recent cries of the community, and it came out fast, which means Valve reads and cares. So let's talk about that right after Skins Monkey. Skins Monkey is an automated service that lets you trade skins instantly for a fee, sign up now, and get up to $5 bonus. Simply add items from your inventory, then find skins that matches your current balance. Site offers live support 24/7. You can also top up your balance if you're missing a few dollars, and there's a lot of skins to choose from. Visit my link down below to get to Skins Monkey. With today's release notes, we see map fixes and changes for Ancient, Overpass, and Inferno. Inferno is the most interesting one and has some pretty significant changes. The railings are back on T-spawn stairs. I just made a video showing you the gameplay changes of Inferno, so the timing is either really good or really bad. Also, look at the short roof. They actually moved it up, which means it is now back to being a skill jump. With a bit of practice, you could get up yourself, but Valve listened and must have understood the implications of making some of these specific jumps too easy. The change is really cool to see. That's what I could find. Also, the Counter-Strike room still shows red missing texture. But even with the Inferno changes, that's not even the spotlight for this update, because there are gameplay aspects that have been changed and fixed that are really good and needed. If you remember, last update, they disabled casual mode to avoid a bug where servers would get stuck, and they seem to have fixed the issue and re-enabled it. I like this a lot. It was either deathmatch or getting 20 invites per day to play Premiere, so getting casual back with subtick is a nice treat. Next up, they fixed the bug where drop weapons were behaving like held weapons, which I didn't really experience having an issue with myself, but they also made it easier to pick up dropped weapons, which that literally everyone was struggling with. And as you know, picking up stuff is always in stressful situations, so thanks Valve for tackling this one quickly. I'll have to try it out in a competitive match, but it feels reliable to me right now offline. It probably is the same thing online. Another thing was missing bullet tracers on hits. I didn't know this was an issue, or maybe I overlooked it, but seeing that it's fixed seems very useful. When playing, you do rely on a lot of visual feedback, so this sounds like a good quality of life update. Now, one of the patch notes that really stood out to me is this one: adjusted interpolation parameters. Recently, a huge amount of people in the community have tried their best to simply make the CS2 beta experience better. There's been a lot of guides with settings, optimizations to help counter many issues that people were experiencing. Reddit posts and tweets were flooding with people getting killed by enemies who were not even on their screens. And a lot of it was focused around interpolation. Interpolation is essentially a way to make things look smoother when you're playing a video game, like when a character is running. In reality, the game might only know the character's position a few times every second, but you don't want the character to look like they're teleporting from each position. So interpolation guesses where the characters should be between positions. It fills in the gaps to make it look like the character is moving smoothly. Now, what's interesting is that the default value before this update was CL_interp 0.1 along with CL_interp ratio 2. A lot of guides focused on lowering some of these values to reduce interpolation, which would effectively give you more precise enemy positions. But it was never a certainty that it would work well in the beta. I had a feeling that Valve were going to address this sooner or later since it was pretty much unavoidable and everywhere online, which was also why I decided to leave my settings untouched and wait for the response. Valve has addressed it by changing their default values so that CL_interp is now lowered down to 0.04 and interp ratio to 1. What's really interesting here is that 1, by lowering these values, Valve has acknowledged that this will make the experience better, and 2, if you did change the values and felt an improvement, it likely wasn't placebo. They essentially tackled one of the biggest issues in just a matter of days. This, along with an update value for the unlag command, which if set wrong was used by a lot of cheats, so they essentially adjusted that value to match what's being used in CSGO. A lot of people have doubted CS2 in the sense that they don't think the game will be ready or well optimized in time. So seeing this update is comforting and shows that Valve cares and are responding quickly. Speaking of responding quickly, another big complaint was the very bright effect you get on freeze time. I mean, the game is already bright, so making it even brighter would effectively blind you. So yes, they've adjusted the post-processing effects. They didn't just change the effect, it's got a color tint that matches the side that you're on. So on T side, it's more yellowish, and on CT side, it's more bluish. This seems to be more comfortable for the eyes, and I would even say that the CT's version could be improved even further, or I'm probably just being picky here. As with all CS2 updates, we see various bug fixes and tweaks, for this one specifically to the Premiere user interface, but some other smaller things. This update was very welcoming, came out fast, and should make the beta experience a lot better, which, by the way, we need to remember is a beta. Some people just seem to forget that. Peace.